Niall McGrath for offtheball.com in London, England, alongside Joseph Duffy, who makes his return to the octagon on Saturday night against Marc Diakiese. Joseph, it's become a regular trait, you fighting on St. Patrick's Day. It's been a while. Obviously excited about returning to the octagon.
Yeah, I can't wait, Niall. I don't know, maybe turn into the Mayweather, just one fight a year on Paddy's Day. That seems to be the thing. Mayweather was May the 4th, was it?
It was, yeah.
Yeah.
How are things, Joe? You're going to be a dad soon in about 2 weeks as well. That's an interesting one for me. Is that a welcome distraction coming into a fight?
It really is, to be honest, because like all the excitement leading up to that, obviously the excitement of this week, so I constantly got something to look forward to. So I can't wait for all of it, you know, for like I enjoy fight week in itself, so I got all fight week to enjoy, I got the fight to enjoy, and then trip home, bit of time with my girlfriend before the baby makes a I don't know how to put it, but a big dent in our lives, I would say.
I'd imagine so, and listen, best of luck with that anyway. But Joseph, what are the emotions been like over the last sort of while? Because it's been a while, you know, obviously you're supposed to come back, you got injured again, you had the shoulder surgery. It's been a bit of a roller coaster since the James Vick fight. How's everything gone, and how have you kept the mind in check over the last number of months? Because I know you've been like champing at the bit basically to get back in there for some time.
Yes, it's been difficult. It's been a long process, just with the injury. Obviously it's easier if you're closer to your family and friends and everything as well. That would have been ideal if I was back for the surgery, but you know, that's the way it worked out. The surgery came up quick, so those dark days, you know, you gotta get past them. But once I could get back training, at least I had some sort of focus. Once, you know, and that's it. Like, that's my life. I've been training all my life, so you know, once I'm back in the gym, it's pretty easy to get focus. Joe,
you just said it there. You know, you're a guy. You've returned home quite a bit. You've trained a lot back here over the last year as well. Is it something maybe that you're going to look to do more in the future? Because, as I think we've talked about before in the past, that you are a guy who likes to be close to your family and close to home.
I suppose that's the beauty of it. You know, I got that option. Last time I was up in Team Renegade with Tom Breeze. Obviously, Tom was my training partner when I was in TriStar, and we're real close friends. So it's great to have the gym. You know, the boys there welcome me with open arms. So obviously it's nice just to mix it up, go, you know, freshen it up, spend some time with the family and everything else. But obviously with the baby and TriStar is my home, that I'm going to be spending the majority of times in TriStar.
Just on Tom's gym, like, there's some absolute studs and stars coming out of that gym at the moment. It's a real sort of, I think, hotbed of mixed martial arts in the UK at the moment, where we're seeing a lot of guys really come to the forefront.
Without a doubt, you know, the amount of talent in one room was incredible. Obviously Leon, who's on the card, Fabian, who's, you know, making a big dent already in Bellator, and so many guys like Aiden, who's obviously destined to be on a big show. He's going to be there without a doubt. So many top quality guys. Jai Herbert, who just, you know, he's been performing well on Cage Warriors 2. You know, there's a depth of talent. So yeah, it's great to have, you know, training up there and all.
I just want to go back to the last fight against James, and we spoke about this. You spoke about, you know, feeling pretty flat that night. I thought you went out in the first round, you dominated the fight, and you got caught in the second, and ultimately he finished the fight. Have you identified why you felt flat before that fight in the last number of months? Has there been pinpoint accuracy into why that happened?
I believe so. I think we kind of put our finger on it. Actually, Mandel, who's here cornering me, he helped me with that. Like, he seemed to just give me a few words of wisdom, and ever since, like, I'm feeling real good. Like, I feel like things are just in the right place.
Can you share what the flatness was?
I'd rather not. Like, I'd rather just keep it for now and just say very little on the matter for now. Just obviously is something that I feel is kind of important to this fight and my future fight. So But it's one thing I feel was I was working a little bit too hard as well. I was forcing the action and trying to work for every second of every round. You know, that was a big mistake I made, which we spoke about in, you know, straight after me and Mandel when we were watching GSP. So that was one of the main things, and then the other one is something that is just like a little bit tactical, but you know, quite a simple adjustment at the same time.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask you that because you're a guy, you know, you're never out of the gym. Even when you're injured, you're like, I need to be in there, I need to be doing something, you need to be active. There's been a little bit of a change, I feel, in your mindset as well, in terms of maybe you're a little bit more relaxed, there's a little bit more freedom going on, and that's potentially when you're at your best.
I feel so. You know, I feel like I'm a creative fighter. I'm the kind of guy who, when things happen, I just kind of react to the situation rather than going in with too strict of a game plan. I like to cover all bases of MMA and just snatch the opportunities when they arise. And I feel great for this fight. You know, Faraz has been doing pads with me pretty much every day, and you know, I can feel the benefits of that too. You know, I'm feeling real fit and excited, raring to go.
Definitely. Let's talk about your opponent, Marc Diakiese. Obviously a guy we know very well on the scene. It's been really sort of different approach from Marc. I know he's on a 3-fight skid. He said recently, we spoke to him, and he was saying that, you know, he's very respectful of you as a fighter, but that's very unlike what Marc has done in the past. Marc's got in his opponent's faces, exchanged words with them on social media. Why do you think that is?
I'm not sure. Like, I don't really look into any of that. I don't watch anybody's interviews or any of that crack. Obviously that's something for him personally. Like, maybe he just wanted to take a different approach. Maybe it takes the pressure off him. You know, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Like his thought process beforehand. You know, when he was kind of in his opponent's faces or whatever. You know, whatever way he was going about it. So I suppose it's just a thought process.
Yeah, he did say he was, you know, he's very thankful for you for taking this fight because he felt as though possibly he should have been cut from the UFC.
Listen, he's an exciting fighter. He's an exciting fighter, and that's why the UFC really got behind him at the start. You know, he's explosive, he's dangerous, and he's fought top quality opponents. So, you know, I'm just glad to be back. And I know Marc's a top quality opponent, so I'm under no illusions what I'm in for. I know it's a hard night, and I look forward to, you know, just going out there and displaying my skills.
Yeah, he's definitely had you know, some really good opponents. Obviously Nasrat Haqparast and the likes. Are you expecting him to get angry at the stare down though on Friday night? He always seems to slap away the hand to Marc Diakiese tradition at the weigh-ins.
Again, I haven't really seen that. Like I'm not the biggest follower of it all, so you know, I don't really care. Like whatever, it doesn't really matter to me. It's, you know, we're not going in there to be friends or whatever else. You know, this is our job. We've both got our goals in the sport, so we go in, we'll fight each other, and then, you know, whatever, we can chat after. But for now, it's all about business.
Do you feel like there's, you know, there's so little fighters, Irish fighters in the UFC compared to what there was? There's yourself and Mr. McGregor. Do you feel, you know, there's pressure on you coming to these fight nights from the Irish fans, from the Irish public, to really sort of get behind you and for you to go out there and make a statement?
Not much. I feel like that's something, when I was earlier in my career, you know, I seen it as pressure, but really people are just there to support, you know, and that's something I noticed when I was in New York. You know, things didn't go my way on the night, but you know, the reception I got when I left, when I went back to the hotel, when I was going around the streets, you know, people shouting across the road to me and so on, and it was incredible. You know, they're there to support you, and they want to see you do well, and you know, I'm forever grateful for that. And all I can do is go in, do my best, and you know, hopefully my skills will take care of business. Other than that, there's no point putting pressure on myself, because I'm going to do what I can do, and that's it. Big
statement from Joseph Duffy in a big year ahead. I think that's the plan for you, is to get some more momentum and some more fights and stay injury free over the next sort of 12 months. Big statement on Saturday night and then kicking on into the rest of the year?
Ideally, you know, go in, get the win. You know, if it's a stoppage, even better, but win's priority, and then we'll start looking forward. But ideally, I would like to be busy this year. I've been saying this since I re-signed, and it hasn't kind of come off yet, but touch wood, good win on Saturday night, and then we can start looking forward and start getting active.
Joseph, I know you're a big rugby fan like myself, and obviously off the ball we cover a large amount of rugby on offtheball.com. You're a guy who's obviously from Donegal, a proud Irishman, but you spent a lot of your childhood in Wales, and you've a lot of family still in Wales. Massive game on Saturday in Cardiff. What are your thoughts on the match on Saturday?
Huge game. There's a good crowd coming up from Wales as well, so there'll be a bit of a rivalry. We'll all be back and forth, no doubt. It was great to see Ireland start to put things together on the weekend. They looked dangerous in bursts. I thought I still would like to see them attack from a little bit deeper. I feel like sometimes they just get a little flat and smother themselves a little bit when they're running from depth. They had some ideas. Sometimes they didn't come off, but it was good to see them playing a bit better. So, touch wood, it'll be good for their confidence, and they can go in and have a great game against Wales.
Do you believe in this hype about the Rugby World Cup? Can Joe Schmidt lead the Irish boys to victory in Japan next year?
I definitely believe it's possible. I think what Joe Schmidt's done with the team, like what he done with Leinster, I think is pretty incredible. We haven't had a coach yet that's done quite what he's done. The run we went on, how we looked last year in the autumn internationals, and I felt even like when we won the Grand Slam last year, it wasn't like Ireland always played in real impressive rugby. Like what they done that I was impressed by was they didn't play amazing, but they still managed to get the job done and get the bonus points, which is almost like All Blacks. Like that's how they seem to go through. And I thought that's what we done last year. So this year, like when we lost, I wasn't surprised, because I thought like we still had things to work on. But autumn internationals, I thought they looked pretty unbeatable, to be honest. But obviously, there's always that adjustment, and I'm kind of glad in a way. This is really gonna light a fire under the guys ready for the World Cup.
Joe, a little birdie tells me, just one final one, that you could have possibly been a pro rugby player if you hadn't have gone down the mixed martial arts route. Is that true?
I don't know about true, but I was like in school. I was decent. I was our captain in school. Obviously, the jiu-jitsu kind of transferred well, because I was just dumping people left, right, and centre. I believe I can. I believe if whatever I dedicated myself into, I would have done well. There's boys who I played with in school who's actually, I think Christian Dacey's playing for Cardiff Blues now. I think Lewis Aylen maybe with Cardiff Blues too. I definitely feel I had a talent for it, so I think I probably could. Yeah,
well, if you're the captain of the side, I'm sure it was a possibility.
I think it was more just because it was game. I wasn't frightened of no one. I would have tackled anyone, and I obviously you see how competitive I am. So I think that was a lot to do with it. And just when you combine that with discipline, if you work hard enough, I believe you can get whatever you want done. So.
One final one. I think this fight is fireworks written all over it, and on Saturday night I think it's one of the best stylistic matchups on the card. But would you go along with that?
I definitely feel it's an exciting fight. With Mark's style and my style, it's a different style of striking, but both exciting styles. So I believe that makes for a exciting fight, and that's something I was excited about when I got offered the fight. So it's a possible, it could be a fighter than I contender for sure.
Joseph, I do appreciate the time. Always a pleasure to speak to you. I'm very much looking forward to seeing you return to the Octagon on Saturday night here in London.
Thanks very much, Niall.